Oh my God.
Wow.
It's time.
Time for what?
It's time for more of the devil.
I see.
I know it's been a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean a whole zero escape game, but we're glad to be back in it. We've been dutifully keeping ourselves kept away from spoilers for episode 2 here. So, let's see how this goes. I'm looking forward to it. If only because I like having more green-haired androids. Players choose to play. No, we are not high rollers. Won't be able to reload your saves while inside the courtroom. No, I'm good.
What's funny is I feel like we would have been fine in high roller mode.
I think we would have, but here's the thing. We're playing this for recording, and every time we have to redo something is more work.
Yep.
So, like, it's the difference between am I playing it for myself to prove something, or am I doing something that's going to go on YouTube?
Time-sensitive choices. Did you read that?
Oh, I didn't. Where's my backlog? This episode contains time-sensitive choices. You can double the duration or disable them entirely in the settings menu. Testimony segments. Objectionable words or clauses will become red when you prepare to call them. Okay. Well, I think we just go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we have to say stuff aloud, but usually the time stuff doesn't really matter that much. We'll see. We'll see if it gets to the point, if it's distracting enough that we can't do our bit without, running into the timer thing, then we'll disable them, but I think we'll be fine.
I think we'll be fine because you're playing.
Uh-huh.
We'd be doomed if I was playing.
I want to pursue this mystery like a true gambler. I would like to do standard. Disable tutorials. You can turn them back on in settings. We've been through a whole 2 episodes of this already. Is there gonna...
Do you feel ready?
I feel ready.
All right.
First question's an easy one. Who's your senator?
Things.
Piece of shit still trying to lie to our faces. This is blue. I was pink.
Things is our senator, man.
What? Still? Shit, hey, wake up.
From the top, I guess.
Ugh, what is your name?
Ikariya.
What year is it?
2086.
What did he say last time? 2087? 2027? Maybe this stuff is finally working. Oh my. Dog does know how to shake.
You can go
Oh wait, are these 2 different blues?
Yeah. Again in the head. One thing I said, one thing I asked. Anywhere but the head.
Not my fault he's got a punchable face. So we calibrated yet or what?
No. But we're as close as we're going to get with equipment this old.
You want to get to the real questions or does he need more softening up?
I just said...
I won't soften him up in the head.
How about it? You still with us, Hound?
Oh, okay, yeah, this is more of like a lighter...
Yeah.
The previous one's more like a really bold cyan, and this one's kind of more of like a kind of grayer. Oh, and there's also one more question mark on the other one. So that way you can also tell them apart that way. That's helpful.
You're going to feel a migraine hit you like a tram in a few seconds. Do me a favor and hold on to the pain.
What are we even looking at here? See, like, I guess tile.
A sink.
This looks like a sink. What is this? A big...
Let go and the barbitocene will drop you like an anchor. Don't want you a vegetable? Right? Yeah, that's the spirit. Knew you were a fighter. Question 1. Do you know why you're here?
Oh, I like everything about this. Because you were too spooked to do this over a line?
I'm always the right amount of spooked, Red.
Oh, this is a new one.
When I tell you there's heat, I mean it.
I know. And I always listen. You see? Breathable layers.
God damn it.
Morgan, what is this outfit, girl? What are we
Breathable
doing?
layers.
I see. You laughed.
Doesn't mean I conceded the point. You're lighter.
Huh?
You memorized the map.
You kept it pretty vague, but yeah, I think risque incendie. I think I got the gist of it. You're that worried about a paper trail?
Proactive Analytics just won a state contract for new trawling algorithms that can DNon an entire city block's crumbs in less than an hour.
Ooh, new crumbs. What's an Internet of Things. Got it. Internet of Things refers to the networked data sharing that goes on between all the countless electronics we monitor ourselves with. Phones, computers, security systems, biofeedback devices, body modifications, and prosthetics, and of course, automated dependents. All comprise small but vital parts of this network. Without IoT's ability to collect, process, and share information, massive opportunity costs build up as individuals, governments, and private businesses miss out on the valuable insight that data has to offer. I feel like that went a different direction there. One of the coolest ways that IoT improves our lives is through the usage of crumbs, small packets of data containing your unique identifying information. Throughout your day, as your own IoT devices say hi to other devices, they'll leave behind crumbs as a parting gift. Crumbs allow for paperless identification and payment, and help the government manage human and vehicular traffic. Crumbs let you see where you've been so that you can see where you should go. Want to start leaving crumbs right away? Don't worry, crumbs are enabled by default. Not interested in sponsored search results? See further with a premium account. Got no profiles yet either. Okay. So we're starting fresh in chapter 2 here.
Didn't you read the financial section today?
I'm more of a Sudoku gal. We can't all be as well read as Reinhard Diamani. Ooh, that's a great name.
I'm sending you the links. Read them and the rest of the news too. Proposition 492 is going to be on the ballot this year. You shouldn't vote on it blindly.
For a guy who makes the majority of his living operating outside the law, you sure take your civic duty seriously.
Information brokering isn't illegal. What people choose to do with my advice...
Do you declare the income for it on your taxes? Sorry. I promised to take a look at what you sent over. Oh. Oh, you meant right now. Just in the middle, a whole ass in the middle of our conversation. I'm reading. With elections coming up, a number of measures related to infrastructure, public works, and funding for city programs will be on the ballot soon. Read on to get an overview of some of the most hotly anticipated issues you'll be able to vote on in the coming months. Proposition 436.2D. Petition for City Council to commission cost analysis on public schooling. Sponsored by Aaron, Houston, and Myers. For the last several decades, all education has been handled through private institutions, typically associated with one or more corporate benefactors. Oh, really? That's upsetting. While this has eased the expense of childcare and pre-university education for many families, some citizens regularly voice concern over children being treated as customers first and students second. There are several schools throughout the city that accept students at no cost to their parents, but these are reliant on government subsidies, introducing the potential for waste and corruption, and are generally seen as subpar environments for learning. I'm sorry, what? Hold on. Reliant on government subsidies, introducing the potential for waste and corruption. Because those didn't exist in corporate-owned schools? Man, someone really...
Of course not. The free market, right? It would just make... If they were wasting stuff, then somebody else would just win the competition, right? Right?
Yeah, they just conceded that whole ground. I guess that battle for that part of the language was lost a while ago because we're just conceding that ground now? What the fuck, man? If enough voters say aye to this petition, City Council will commission a study to evaluate the cost and feasibility of reintroducing direct public schooling to the city. That seems good. That's a first step in the right direction. And it will commission a study to evaluate the cost and feasibility of reintroducing direct public schooling. We love that. Funding of Atlas Pillar Rejuvenation Projects. Sponsored by Chopin, Howe Industries, and Wickham. Voting aye on this measure will direct City Council to fund the renovation and reinforcement of multiple Atlas pillars around the lower wards. paid for by a % increase in sales tax within city limits. Atlas pillars act as stabilizing points for the city's canopy, super infrastructure, and house all the largest public transit elevators that allow for foot traffic to seamlessly flow between canopy and street level. That seems really important, actually. That seems like the kind of thing you should just do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you correct me if I'm wrong, then that means they just it fall. Measures generally viewed favorably by representatives from the lower wards who acknowledge that the necessary construction will be disruptive, but point to language in the proposition that guarantees easing of zoning restrictions around the pillars as vital to reducing unemployment in the target regions. Excuse me. Measures generally by favorably by representatives from the lower wards. But point to language in the proposition that guarantees easing of zoning restrictions. Oh, so they're hiding other stuff in there alongside it. Easing of zoning restrictions around the pillars. Okay, so that means there's going to be some corporations trying to move in on that and use that as a way to get new territory to set up business.
Mm.
Previous comparable proposals that renovated city pillars north of the park have been touted as successful examples. Studies have been shown that poverty is down and citizen satisfaction is up in the surrounding areas. Some number of city council members representing uptown districts have voted skepticism about these economic benefits, but none have argued against the architectural reality of the canopy's need for additional structural reinforcement. That is amazing to me, actually. Like, I would have assumed that if you got rich enough, you would just believe that you could fly without the pillars. You know what I mean? Given how things have been going in the past couple of years, I am genuinely shocked that no one's out here being like, they're trying to steal your money. Look at those things. They look like they're going to fall over. We don't need to put money in it. It's a scam. Which exactly the city's older Atlas pillars will be targeted for this rejuvenation has yet to be disclosed. Past experience has shown that due to the nature of vertically integrated real estate, property values in the lower wards can either skyrocket or even drop into the negative based on which pillars are rejuvenated, and the city is wary of disrupting the real estate market in the lower wards with rampant outsider-funded speculation. Okay, so what they're saying is that whenever one of the pillars gets rejuvenated, it has to happen, but it has to happen for structural reasons, but it also tends to come with downwind effects of of other stuff happening in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Can skyrocket or even drop into the... And they're also saying that, I guess, admitting that they don't really know how to predict which way it'll go.
Yep.
Right? 493-1A, renaming Atlas Pillars to honor local community figures, sponsored by Danford, Johnson, Sung Ho, and Wickham. Nicknamed the Pillars of the Community Project in the headlines, Prop 493 seeks to rename the Atlas Pillars around the city after local leaders and national figures, placing the current system where pillars are given alphanumerical designations based on the streets they are built atop of. Okay, this seems ultimately unimportant. Few members of the city council have spoken explicitly for or against the measure, but polls show general support among the citizenry with some questions about how the new names will be chosen. Atlas was originally an internal name for the super infrastructure constructs, but leaked blueprints and contractor word of mouth spread the moniker, and it has become rooted itself in the culture in the years since, despite having what the mayor at the time reportedly described in private as an ominous ring to it. I mean, yeah, they're literally holding the world up, right? Like, that's... I don't know, man. So this one seems like a feel-good but ultimately not that important thing. I don't know. Could be neat, I guess, but also it doesn't seem to directly affect people's well-being. Proposition 527-3B, Commission of Report on Victims of Acid Snow, sponsored by Hernandez, Lang, and Mohammed. The acid snow incident sits prominently at the forefront of the public conscience following the Grey Fall documentary that premiered earlier this year. Acid snow. Previously underreported on, while the industrial accident did not create snow and did not in fact add acid to the atmosphere, the film's eyewitness accounts of the scarring children received that early morning nearly 2 decades ago, as they played in what they thought was an unseasonable snowfall, have spurred public outcry. Oh my. If this proposition receives enough ayes in the ballot box, the city will commission a full investigation into the victims of the incident, including the assessment of the damages for what could one day be a public fund for medical treatment. Critics of the proposition argue that after 20 years, few of the victims will still be residents of the city, assuming they can be found at all. Others point to the state lawsuit Gendu Chemicals settled 15 years ago as sufficient compensation for the victims. Though as one of the conditions of that settlement, Gendu did not admit any fault or wrongdoing on part of corporate leadership. Okay. Interesting. So 527.3b seems, I don't know, that seems good to at least know what happened, right? So that way it doesn't happen again. 493.1a, ultimately, I don't think I care. You could just vote a straight aye on this ballot, and I think it'd be fine. 492.1a, funding of Atlas Pillar rejuvenation projects. Good idea. Looks, infrastructure is always important, but not really sexy. Petition for City Council to commission cost analysis on public schooling. That also seems really good. Public schooling is good. Public schools. All right, we did a lot of reading, baby.
How can you be this calm? A chance like this doesn't come around.
I'm sorry, I was reading on my phone. Someone sent me something really important, and I had to take time to read it.
Well, ever.
Does it say toxic in the background? Is that what that graffiti says?
Perhaps. Frankly, I'm still surprised they were willing to put up the funds it took to commission this thing.
What do you think changed?
Nothing ever changes in the lower wards, is what I would say if I was feeling dramatic. Heartbreak made organized crime look like a bunch of cowards hiding under rocks, is what I would say if I was feeling comedic.
Don't joke about heartbreak before sending a woman off to the lower wards by herself.
'Cause you're such a delicate flower in need of protection.
You don't know me. Maybe I am. Morgan! December 26th. Criminal defense attorney. Likes power washers, lamb chops, and prime numbers.
Morgan watches power washing videos to calm down in the evening after a murder.
Absolutely does. Dislikes lectures felt in the violin. Plays blackjack, hold'em, CeeLo. I don't know CeeLo.
Nor do I.
Mahjong and E-card. I play Mahjong too now.
You do.
I am pretty okay at it.
You're halfway to being a murderer.
What? What's the other half? I believe it or not, I thought murder was the operative part of becoming a murderer. Favorite flower, the funny-looking red ones, like horse radiata. Eggs, fried and runny. All right. How about you start feeling analytic and give me your real answer?
Fine. In my humble opinion, the Rust made the first move. The demand for their products has gone up, so they set to work with their syringes and cleavers and vans.
Rust.
Mobile chop shops hunting for product to fill the supply gap.
Interesting. The Rust made the first move. Demand for their products. So the Rust are selling organs. It looks like. Or body parts.
Or cybernetics.
It doesn't specify that. And you don't have to have unless they're secondhand.
Yeah.
You don't need to have chop shops to...
Exactly. Secondhand cybernetics. Chop them out of people. Resell them.
I see. Okay. Supply gap. You can't spit without landing on a Vitruvian clinic. How's the biggest it's ever been? Okay, so this does look like cybernetic stuff now. What mods aren't being printed to demand? So then it's got to be, like Morgan's saying, it's got to be like bespoke stuff or stuff that won't be printed or stuff that's hard to get. Body modifications, aka mods, is a term that may refer to... Mods! It's a term that may refer to... We did that joke last time we played this series. I need to not do that one this time. Y'all hold me to it.
Mods refer to cybernetic prosthetics.
Artificial implants, neural enhancements, or any combination of the above. While body modifications have been seen throughout history and across a wide range of cultures, the modern body modification movement is differentiated by a shift from intrinsic factors, expression or identity, to extrinsic motivators, job opportunities, technological benefits, improvements in physical or mental ability. Right, like we saw in episode 0 with the dude getting his arms specifically for that job. Hoorah. Historically, mods have been classified based on which section of the user's spinal cord the interfacing occurs at, thoracic, lumbar, or cervical, but this system does not account for mods which interact directly with the human brain. The increased prevalence of so-called above-the-neck modding in recent years has led to several corporations and medical organizations proposing their own new classification systems, but so far none have gained much traction. Users also frequently search for, can you return mods? Can you undo mod surgery? Best reviewed neural implants 2086. I think this is the exact same one that we got last time we played.
It is.
It's been months for us.
I also think the IoT one is.
Yeah, but also it's been months for us, so it's good to catch up. What mods aren't being printed to demand?
It's replacement parts, not the mods that the Rust harvest.
It's replacement parts.
Vitruvian, How, and all the others aren't interested in helping you fix a faulty pump. They just want to sell you a whole new model.
Oh, so it's more about repairing the stuff you have. Didn't the last chapter go into right to repair stuff for a little bit?
Was it the last chapter?
I feel like there was a bit, or it might have been chapter 0. There was a little bit about right to repair, though, right?
Because it was the one with the guy with the arm who was being accused of murder he didn't do. The Rust might not always be pretty to look at, but even law-abiding citizens gladly swallow their distaste for a discount that steep.
Right, because you'd rather just get it repaired than have to replace it. It's, I guess it's kind of like a victim of, like he was saying, like they're just going to try to sell you a new one. Right, rather than repair an old one, because that's their business model. I don't know if that necessarily means they go so far as to have planned obsolescence in your body modifications, but holy fuck, would that be fucked up or what? A lot of modders are veterans, not easy prey.
Correct, hence the Rust stockpiling weapons, and in response...
the blue bloods sensing escalation.
But that's just my hypothesis.
Okay, so the people selling secondhand mods have begun stockpiling weapons, and the cops have begun to notice. Okay.
I ever get pulled into an alley and wake up missing a kidney, we'll call it a formal theory.
The Rust. Domestic criminal organization known as the Rust is more accurately described as a loose collection of smaller gangs, sets, and racketeering operations that formed out of necessity rather than any particular shared value. Broad powers granted to the state and law enforcement to address civil unrest during the 60s meant that small to medium-sized criminal organizations could not survive on their own, as virtually all their members could be detained indefinitely if one or more members was suspected of racketeering, under new laws that classified gang activity as terrorism. While the Rust has evolved since its chaotic initial formation, the spirit of it lives on in the highly diverse culture of the Rust's component cells, or pods. Law enforcement officials disagree on whether the Rust meets the definition of a criminal organization, as many argue that the gangs that make it up are capable of operating completely independently of one another. Some hypothesize that the Rust serves merely as a shadow on the cave wall, intended to make smaller gangs' patterns of violence seem like well-organized planning. As it stands, the Rust is known for its black market operations in illegal, illicitly sourced mods, offering military-grade or foreign-produced mods to civilians, particularly known for regularly assaulting and ripping mods out of their victims for resale. Oh, so like repo stuff. That was what Repo the Genetic Opera was about, right?
I have no idea.
I've seen maybe one scene from that movie. Historically, the Rust have been associated with elevated levels of gang violence, earning themselves a fearsome reputation that has, fortunately, limited their ability to assimilate themselves into other segments of society. However, in People v. Harmonique Systems, the state had alleged that Harmonique had, on numerous occasions, employed the Rust as a kind of extra-legal mercenary force when pursuing aggressive market negotiations with their competitors. The case was ultimately settled out of court for an undisclosed penalty amount, but misinformation has persisted ever since, claiming that the Rust has endured, despite its violent tendencies due to being sheltered from consequences by corporations who contract the Rust as deniable mercenaries. Interesting. Okay.
Seems bad.
So the Rust isn't a specific single entity, but kind of like a general name given to a collection of entities that all sort of kind of work together, mostly by necessity. And generally are hired and could also be hired to do dirty work for corporations with their kind of repo shit. Okay. Yeah. We know the cyberpunk trope. We're good with this. Okay. It's not like we're talking about a weapon of mass destruction. Baby. What makes the Blues think they can win a gang war with it?
Maybe they found the right soldier to wield it.
The idea I can't read today. The idea lingers in the air for a moment as I gaze out the window. Windows and neon advertisements galore float up past us like bubbles of air as we make our descent down into our beautiful city's scenic lower wards. I kind of assumed the last ones took place in the lower wards, but have they not?
They did not. How's this part go again? Through me, the way to the city of woe. Through me, the way to eternal pain. Through me, the way among the lost.
That's from Inferno, right?
Welcome to the underworld, Dante. Sometimes hot, sometimes misty, sometimes choking with poison, always dark.
Is that the official forecast?
More accurate than whatever's on your phone. Between the skyscrapers, the generators, the turbines, and the canopy, every city block's got its own climate down here.
9 circles of fresh hell.
If you get the reference, say something. Don't make me feel crazy for 5 minutes so you can feel smart for 5 seconds.
Come on, man. Acknowledge me when I do a cool reference, all right? The smog of the lower wards lingers on your skin long after you make the climb back out. Oh, that's why she's got her mask on, huh? This place clings to you, unwanted, cloying attachment. But there's an honesty to all human interaction down here that makes it trivial for me to navigate. And it's got a nightlife rife with opportunities for someone with my particular interests.
Sorry I couldn't get you anything else to work with.
It was short notice.
I know better than to bet against you by now, Red, but still.
It's sweet of you to worry. But this is a surefire thing.
Spoken like a true addict.
I mean it. I'm here for business, not for pleasure. I don't plan on leaving anything to chance. Chance is my dealer, by the way.
Be the cyber.
I think there's a P there. I think be the cyberpunk. Avoid the populated streets, turn away from brightly lit spots. Follow the trail of graffiti and broken cameras, past food stands and steam vents, down the rabbit hole. Sounds more complicated than it actually is in practice. That's our second literary reference of the day. Let's see how many more we can get to by the end of this scene. It's easy to end up on the wrong side of town as long as you're trying to. Reinhardt's map narrowed the search a lot more than I expected, but I'll be on my own from here on out. It's gotta be one of these 3 buildings. So let's go over what I know. I'm looking for a base of operations for a mid-tier kind of pod. Rougher than a storefront, not as fortified as a headquarters. Location that makes customers feel safe, not trapped. Of course, if I just start knocking on doors, they'll probably find me with weapons drawn. So if I want to be smart about this, I better use all my senses. Alright. Well, let's take a look.
Click. Yeah.
A bit cleaner than the other buildings around here. Could be someone spending money on upkeep. Or maybe this one's just been torn down and rebuilt the least. A couple bodies lingering around outside it. Don't exactly have that organized criminal associate edge, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. A lot of pods will pay civilians good money just to keep their eyes open. Certainly dark. But there is a camera out front, and it's not broken. Overall, probably just some mechanic garage that shuts down the power to save money at night. I know we just got a thing, but we're going to go through all this stuff. Well, this place looks like shit. Looks more like a haunt, just dry enough for users to pass out in more than anything else. It's plenty inconspicuous, but a dealer of the level I'm looking for would be considered a made man. Respectable. I doubt they'd be willing to have to step over trash constantly, just to keep a low profile. Alright. It does say toxic.
Mm-hmm.
The windows are all dark, like no one's home. But they're all shut, too. So it could be that they're just tinted. Alley's clear. Fire escape is still there, for the most part. Could pass for an alternate exit if need be. And that door looks sturdy enough to bounce a bullet off of. Someone has been renovating. Let's look at our terms. Orca. Organized Criminal Associate is the label most widely used within law enforcement for individuals who are members of criminal organizations. supplanting terminology used during the first half of the 21st century in accordance with changes to the organization of recruitment for and internal culture within organized crime. Frequently abbreviated with some artistic liberty as orcs, or the more common orcas, law enforcement professionals often use related nomenclature when discussing organized criminal activity in informal settings. For example, an orca may also be referred to as a killer whale, a kale, or a KW. A group of orcas may be called a pod, while a known gathering place may be labeled a den. They really fucking ran with it, huh? Dingy, but not a shithole. Some secure features, but the paint's not too shiny. Goldilocks takes it. This is my best bet. But why? Why do I feel like I'm being watched? Good question, Morgan. Do I click again? Okay, I do click again. Ooh.
Interesting.
I like this one!
Who are you?
I like this one! Wait, oh, do you want to?
What?
Do you want to do it? We haven't really done that bit in a while because it hasn't really felt right, but we can do it if you want.
Wait, what?
Who the fuck are you? Hey. Great acting. You supposed to be the lookout?
Red Hood.
What'd you say? People come down here to be anonymous, or the closest thing to it in the modern day. It's considered poor etiquette to stare at anyone for more than a moment. It's a faux pas to make an effort to remember someone. Commenting on another's dress isn't a slap to the face, but it is odd. Go away? At least they can take direction. Whatever. A lookout being around just confirms that I picked the right building. Time to try the door. What'll make them open up? Well, it is like they still operate like a fucking storefront, right? Why wouldn't you just knock?
Fair enough.
No answer, huh? Should I have tried knocking at a pattern? Shave and a haircut. No, that would be silly. Give a call. Hey! You open? Maybe not for me. I have money. Actually, I have a dark card. That should have provoked a reaction, a grunt, footstep, something. I place my hand against the door absent-mindedly, ready to move to plan B, and I feel movement. Locks being checked, perhaps a doorknob palmed. Anxiety and curiosity pit against one another by an onlooking greed. How do you enter a closed room? First you try pushing. When that doesn't work, naturally you... Forget it, I'll find some other. No need for master keys or any other trickery. If you know what you're doing, doors will open for you. Like magic. Really now?
A certain color of magic, even.
The door's not the only thing that's being reinforced around here. This apartment building? Motel? Whatever it used to be, someone's made a lot of effort to file it down. Hallways blocked off with chicken wire and stripped furniture, access panels ripped out, doors welded shut. They took a maze and ground it down to a one-way street. Or maybe a shooting gallery. With blaring musical accompaniment.
Don't get any ideas. Got no vacancy.
And here I thought I found my dream home, mister.
Call me Trey. And too bad we're closed this month.
Oh, thanks, Trey. April 2nd. Freelancer. Haven't we heard that term before? Vending machines, skate parks, ice chips. Yeah, those are good. Dislikes rich kids, fried food, and cops. Loitering, 3 arrests, 0 convictions. Larceny, 2 arrests, 1 conviction. No incidents for truancy on record. Wait, you're serious? You rent these out?
Of course we do. This is a business.
Right, and you, see a lot of demand, do you?
This is the lower wards, bitch.
He sighs the word without emphasis, like a subconscious honorific. I'm not honored, but I can't find it in myself to be offended either.
Tons of stray ducks who'll pay top for a site to lay low a night or two.
I can see why.
This is the hallway. The rooms are clean.
Sure.
Look, the doors are heavy, the locks are all physical, and it's quiet.
So this is a safe house for rent?
Safe rooms for rent, but like I said, we're not open for business right now.
Curious.
Come on, up the stairs already, and no mask when we get up there.
And curiouser. A good mask is like a good pair of boots in the lower wards. Keeps you clean, keeps you moving, makes your journey a dozen times more comfortable. And if you leave the house barefoot, you can expect to bring back something unsavory attached to you. It's not odd for him to be barefaced, but demanding that I not wear mine is...
Seriously, stuff it in your pocket now.
Interesting. I wonder if they're trying to play the angle of, like, see how wet we are around the ears. Right? Because it could be a kind of power play, right? Trying to figure out, like, how used are you to things around down here?
Maybe.
And
we can try it.
what do you think? What are you thinking here?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm good. I'll wear my mask if I want to.
Bitch.
He says it pleadingly, as if it's supposed to placate me.
Look, lose the gloves at least, or we're gonna have problems.
So that's their game. This isn't a power move, it's insurance. This place ever gets busted, evidence of my visit will be all over the place. They're giving their customers extra incentive to make sure this shithole remains a hidden gem. A reasonable idea on their part, but it doesn't change my answer.
Refuse, refuse, refuse.
That is not happening.
Bitch. Whatever. Have fun explaining to the boss why you can't follow basic instructions.
That does sound fun.
Watch it, you're a guest here.
A guest, I'm a paying customer. And if you try to get me to remove any more articles of clothing, I'm leaving a scathing review.
You haven't paid yet. Come on.
Right behind you. You know, if she really was worried about that, she wouldn't have her hair up in a ponytail like that. She'd probably have it tucked away. Because you don't want to, have... When your hair gets that long, you do just kind of lose parts of it sometimes.
You just lose hair regardless of its length.
Right,
That's
right.
just the thing hair does.
You just shed hair. So, if she was really that worried about it, you'd think maybe she'd have that tucked away. But I guess at least put up is a little bit better. Through here.
Yeah, hey, I'll get the door.
Huh?
Hmm.
Oh, they're all blue. Howdy.
That's interesting. So those two shades of blue with those two numbers of question marks were used in that way in the opening sequence, as was the pink. So are these those people?
I'm guessing that probably means that these are those people, but
Where the hell did you find her?
was I pink?
I think so.
Must have fallen out of the canopy like a ripe as shit fruit. Because if she didn't fall out of the damn sky, that means Trey opened the door for her. Right, Trey?
Tanks, come on.
Tanks. Anchor Tanks Tan. Occupation, handyman. Likes parkour, spray paint, stainless steel. Dislikes beer canes, water stands, cops. Assault, 2 arrests, no charges pressed. Grand theft, 3 arrests, 2 convictions. Incarceration, 18 months, juvenile correctional campus. How hard is it to not open a goddamn door?
Well, she has...
Shut up. So which one was the one they were waking up?
The teal rather than blue one. So the one that was on the previous screen.
Got it. The others aren't fazed by his volume. This is normal. The big guy is always like this, but his outburst is giving me a moment to take in the scenic view. Brings a tear to the eye. You! Me? Who else? Hit that. A cigarette. It's laced with drugs. Or don't. I'd love an excuse to kick your ass back down those stairs. They think I'm a cop. They think I'm a cop and cops can't use drugs when they're undercover? I could quote them the exact law that invalidates this legal defense, but I gather that won't assuage their concerns. Well, what's it gonna be? That was in your mouth, man.
What?
Sorry, it's not that you're bad looking, it's just...
Trey, who the hell is this red bitch? You trying to jinx us?
She's a customer.
I know she's a customer. We get customers every other day of the goddamn year. Why'd you have to bring her in here tonight?
There we go. This is it. I found the place.
Well?
Creek, she's got...
Look at me. Don't talk to Creek, talk to me.
She's got a dark card.
So this is the one that I guess got revived from the year 2027? 60 years ago? How you doing, blue hair?
I ran the cereal downstairs. Scanner got hot like a hand warmer trying to crunch it, so it's legit, right? Dark card, huh?
All right, Creek. Lakers Creek Kristoff. Occupation, entrepreneur. Likes making money, making friends, dislikes doctors. Grand theft, case dismissed due to lack of evidence. Extortion, case dismissed due to lack of witness recanting. Pronouns, any. All right, Lakers. I nod. Hard not to start playing a little more conservatively once you know the stakes. Whatever the specifics of their leadership structure, they're all looking up to this Creek right now. But I don't know his rhythm yet, so I can't exactly match it. For the moment, silence is golden.
Yeah, but tonight, Creek? With all the other shit we're expected to shovel?
Hey, shouldn't make talk like that in front of the customer.
Customer. You'd think the word was old toothpaste the way he spat it out. Translation, outsider.
Yeah, thanks, Miller. I know.
Heavens Miller smiles.
That's such a good name. Heavens Smiles.
That's great. Tradesman. Likes horror films, bubblegum, terrariums. Dislikes bookies, gin, and cops. 4 arrests, 4 convictions for vandalism. Extortion, 2 arrests, 0 convictions. Littering, no incidents on record.
All the more reason we should tell this bitch to get slagged.
Look, she's here now, so why not take her money?
You know what? I got a better idea.
Apply directly to the forehead. The loud one, Tanks, is pressing a barrel directly into my forehead.
Why not take her for all she's got?
The metal feels cool on my skin. Reminds me of a stethoscope. Breathe in, and try not to sigh at the theatrics. Instead, I make eye contact with Creek.
Hey now. You can put that away.
He reholstered his firearm without so much as a click of the tongue. Mid-tears like I thought. They've got something approaching discipline. Mind the safety.
Get screwed.
So, we good? We're good, we're good. We are good, right, Creek? Threading a thin needle, lady. Lot of moving parts neath the surface here. Give me a minute to clear my schedule for you. Make yourself at home in the meantime. Just don't hover, yeah?
Of course. You won't even notice I'm here. Sweet. All right, so we got a whole bunch of things to check out now. Okay, let's start. Wow, and it's almost all over on the right side of the room. You're doing inventory over here. Ouch. Must have caught you on the worst night of the quarter.
Quarter? This ain't a Meg operation, lady. We take our inventory daily.
And Meg for Mega Corporation. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need me to... Although the auto sensor tool joke is very funny still. Torture.
You gotta suggest we put it all down on a spreadsheet, get everyone to sign off every hour. We got a special name for anything with more than one signature on it. A cricket case.
A cricket case. CRICO. Combating Racketeer Influence to Corrupt Criminal Organizations Act. The Combating Racketeer Influence to Corrupt Criminal Organizations Act provides for increased law enforcement powers and impunity when investigating and prosecuting organized criminal charges. The CRICO Act allows for prosecutors to link multiple individual charges of racketeering, contraband, smuggling, or other smaller infractions into criminal conspiracy charges against the entirety of a criminal organization. Though much of how the law is built off previous legislature designed to assist prosecutors in fighting organized crime, the CRICO Act is distinct in that it makes clear the distinction between criminal organizations and corporations that may be operating in violation of the law, considered necessary to adapt to changes in the drug trafficking, gambling, and sex work industries. Before the CRICO Act, prosecutors would at times seek to designate corporations engaging in aggressive market or cartel-like behavior as criminal organizations, arguing that their structure does not significantly differ from what might be called a mafia. Post-CRICO, corporations with legal business charters registered with the state are effectively immune to criminal conspiracy charges and are instead prosecuted through the trade courts. That's delightful. What a great maneuver that is. Some of the more liberal-leaning members of the judicial system have argued that this emboldens certain aggressive corporate behaviors and complicates attempts to prosecute criminal organizations who make some amount of their profits through legally registered and operating businesses. Others point to the relatively higher penalties in the trade courts as sufficient deterrent for criminal activity on behalf of either corporate or mafia parties. In criminal courts, sentences for individuals can be as severe as a life in prison, but in trade courts, guilty verdicts can result in entire companies being deregistered and all of their assets being acquired by the state. Users also frequently search for how to avoid CRICO charges, Easy 2086. Prisoner's dilemma explained. Is it illegal to gather with people? Man, good thing we just got a whole big explainer on the prisoner's dilemma.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, go back and watch our just finished Let's Play of Zero Time Dilemma. He's corrupting the CRICO acronym a lot, but his risk assessment isn't misguided. Paperwork brings down more criminal organizations than guns ever will. A real, is you taking notes at a criminal conspiracy moment? Give a half-decent accountant one thread to pull on, and they can rip apart the mafia in less than a business day.
Hey, what'd Creek say? Don't hover.
It's only hovering if I'm bothering you. Am I bothering you?
If you were bothering me, you'd know it.
Understood. Did I interrupt a game? What's your poison? 5-card, full blind, Monaco rules?
Are those games? We just screw around with whatever we've got to kill time, lady. You know your stuff. You ever play around here?
Now and then.
The hell? You go slumming for card games?
Now and then.
Have I seen you at a game before? Maybe up by the 30s.
I'm sorry, must have been some other redhead.
Damn, thought I'd finally got my second chance at getting that beauty's contacts.
You practice that one a lot?
Practiced it a little. How's it working?
Keep practicing. I like Creek. And Creek's pronouns are any, so we're going to make an attempt to rotate them every time we talk about Creek. That way Creek doesn't feel like there's any one in particular that's being favored. You good, buddy? Looking a little sweaty.
Well, that's just because I was exercising before you showed up.
Uh-huh.
Bitch, you don't believe me? How do you think we defend what's ours down here?
I assume the gun I was acquainted with just now played a role.
Think we can afford to break the bank on bullets? It's easy to buy a gun. Pulling the triggers.
All so easy.
Like kissing it goodbye. It'll rat you out first chance it gets.
An aversion to firearms would explain the relatively low fatalities for gang-related violence. The big names can afford to buy a new gun every week, but for everyone beneath them, it comes down to crowbars, clubs and knives, and mods. Well, I'm sure you do all very well with your fistfights.
Fist fight is juvie. Sounds like recess shit.
Sorry. Fisticuffs?
Laugh it up. First time you hear the sound of steel arm makes caving a skull in, you'll get exactly how we operate.
Right, sorry. I'm so glad I didn't bring Sarah on this one. All right, is there anything else aside? What?
Sarah would win.
Yes, she would. That door's nearly as sturdy as the one out front, but a lot more slapped together. What was it originally? Is that a walk-in freezer or something?
What? No, we had an agreement about hovering, yeah?
Yeah. It's barred from this side. Is there anything else to do aside from pester?
Doesn't seem like it.
Me. What's the auto find? Okay, that's it.
What?
Nothing. You're just kind of glaring at me.
It's my job to glare at suspect bitches like you.
Thanks is just superstitious, though I wouldn't call it a superstition until it stops keeping you alive.
I am not.
Did I pass a black cat on my way in or something?
It's your clothes.
Again. Didn't know your fine establishment had a dress code.
It's not a code. It's just got bad goddamn luck to wear red.
And you're wearing?
red.
This is maroon.
Bad luck to see, red man.
It would explain why everyone's really committed to the blue aesthetic.
Yep.
Same thing.
Nah, you see the red hood, then you fear for your life. Cosplaying as her is weird, but it won't doom you.
So the Red Hood is a figure, and that's who that little urchin was confusing us for.
Unless it's not a confusion at all.
Well, I mean, it could be that it's not a confusion at all, but I think Morgan would be more familiar with her own moniker.
Yep.
Then again, Heartbreak did get away from her, so maybe not.
Great. It'll only doom us.
I don't think I've heard this particular ghost story, boys. I just pulled this out of my laundry this morning.
Really? You were blending in so well.
The Red Rider Hood, the Shinigami, Grim Reaper of the lower wards. Spot her on a misty night, end up dead by morning light. Come on, Creek. Don't start that shit when you don't even believe it. Don't have to believe it to have heard the rhyme. You've never heard of the Red Rider Hood, a little girl in the fog in a big red raincoat? Misted in the crossfire of a shootout between pigs and robbers, wanders the wards seeking revenge.
Okay, so it's not a serial killer, it's someone who died.
Okay.
And we saw mist, a slang term to shoot or to kill that originates from the bloody spray produced when a modern firearms projectile makes contact with living tissue. Because, everyone's blood is kept under high pressure at all times. It's anime. No, never.
Thought even uptowners knew this stuff. You gonna tell me you've never heard of the cyberpunk or the little lord next?
Who is the cyberpunk? Is this just the general term cyberpunk? Originally a term coined in a short science fiction story, and later having grown into a genre all its own, cyberpunk, or cyberpunk, historically has referred to a counterculture centered around the themes of underdogs resisting powerful corporate or government forces through digital guerrilla warfare. While the genre has persisted into modern times and evolved in numerous ways, over the last 2 decades it has taken on a new meaning as a kind of mythologized way of being for the adolescent or disaffected to aspire to. A code of conduct that emphasizes anti-authoritarianism, community organizing, corporate disengagement, and socioeconomic consciousness. The so-called singular cyberpunk has become the 21st century man without a name, a wanderer with their own rule of law. Cultural critic Simon Essentia summarized the appeal as thus: "There's no such thing as a 21st century hero. Is it any wonder the most vulnerable among us turn to the past for guidance?" Users also frequently search for, "Get ready with me, cyberpunk. The 99 Man explained. Are co-ops illegal?" Makes sense. I guess I don't have a good ear for this kind of thing.
Or maybe you're just not as smart as you think you are.
Says the grown man sweating because of a ghost story. How about I take extra care not to walk under any ladders for the rest of the night and we call it even?
Walk under any... Where would you even find, Oh, did you mean stepladder?
I'm not doing this. We already did this in this game.
Now who's afraid? You look pale as spit.
Because for some reason I just got the horrible feeling I lost a bet.
All right, come here, pull up a chair. Let me ask you something before we get started. What was your first job?
Waitress.
Waitress. You remember this feeling? 9 p.m., diners filter out, doors close at 10. Y'all start turning off the grills, taking out the trash, settling down. And then some mouth breather comes in at 9:40 with big blank eyes expecting you to find him a table.
Yeah.
Yeah, asshole behavior, not breaking any rules, can't arrest him, can't shoot the guy, even if you wanted to. So, related note, you're here to buy, a paying customer, happy to have you. Just read the room, okay?
Sure thing.
And no haggling. Now what are you here for?
Well, can't be honest about that. Time to build a story. This Creek seems less high-strung than the others. Must have a few years and a couple promotions under his belt. He might be on the 3rd floor at the moment, but in spirit, he's still on the street earning. Everyone above him is in more managerial positions. He's in between crowds, isolated. And he's entertained by my poke at the big guy. Putting that all together, I'm not actually here for myself. Truth is, I can't hear anything over the damn screen. I grab the remote sitting on the edge of the desk and turn off the screen. That's better.
The hell you do that for?
It was too loud.
We like it loud. Screws with bugs and wires and cops. Are you a cop?
Keeping it at that volume could damage your ears. You'd end up yelling all the time.
Relax, Tanks.
Like I was saying, I'm actually here for someone else. My boss, to tell you the truth.
That sucks. Does your regional manager want a made-to-order heart attack at his retirement party or something?
You're not that far off. His son is turning 18 and he wants a party. An organic party.
Hell's that supposed to mean?
Did Creek just go blue in the face there for a moment, or is that default Creek palette?
I can't tell, but he is a little blue in the face.
Hell if I know, but a coworker let slip that I smoked a few times in college. So boss goes and hands me his dark card, slaps me on the rear, and sends me down here.
Yeah, it was a blue in the face.
It was a blue in the face.
thing.
Told me to get everything his son needs for the best graduation ever.
That's rough. A pretty lady like yourself shouldn't be stuck running errands at this hour, not in this part of the city. It's not safe. Speaking of which, Miller, stand up, raise your hands.
I oblige, but the lanky one keeps staring at me oddly, looking me up and down. It's not complimentary. He's searching for something.
See, normally I would never be this poor of a host to such a nice customer, but boss is right.
Yeah.
Might have been real micromanaging lately. It's kind of becoming a problem. So, we're taking a little more care around new faces. Tucked inside her jacket, round the left pocket.
His eyes aren't modded. Did I give it away with my body language?
Something you want to share with the class? Forgot I had that, maybe?
Yes, I have a knife on me. Should I have declared that on my papers?
Would have been the polite thing to do, yeah?
I'm sorry for my poor manners, but a pretty lady like me in this part of town. Guess I was just being careful around new faces.
All right.
You're letting her keep it?
I got you here to protect us.
Yeah.
Have to wonder, though. Why'd a high-power corporate mover shaker come in person? Why come to us?
I guess we should also try to figure out, why is Morgan here tonight? Clearly something's happening that she got word of and she wants to be here for it, right? Or wants to see something about it in person.
Mm-hmm. But what?
And clearly she got the right place because they're doing something. Did a big shipment just come in or something? Something about the cops and the Rust getting in on each other.
Why not go across the skywalk over to the nearest Ikaria-owned dispensary?
Cagey tonight, aren't we, boys? Hell are they so suspicious for? And who are the Ikaria? Name sounds vaguely familiar, but... Well, I can read between the lines. They're the competition. So if these blue bloods are being this cautious around a paying customer, I can shame them over it.
So these guys are
Oh,
blue
so that's what
bloods.
blue blood means. I thought it just meant cops. That's what it kind of means nowadays, so...
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah!
Really? I have never heard it in that context. I've heard blue bloods used to mean like upper class folks.
Really? Maybe I'm misusing it then. You know where I got it from?
Where?
Blue Bloods, the procedural.
Never heard of
The
it.
procedural drama series.
Huh.
Yeah, that's probably where I picked it up from. Anyway, International Criminal Organization, most commonly known as Blue Bloods, originated in the... That's why they're all blue! Originated in the early 21st century. It's an offshoot of Eastern Hemisphere triads that subsumed various dock workers' unions. Loosening international corporate regulations and decreasing job opportunities at the time made it difficult for traditional unions to gather and maintain bargaining power. Simultaneously, many triads struggled with increasing nationalism around the globe, combined with improvements in border security made the profit margins for smuggling smaller and smaller, even as demand for foreign goods went increasingly unmet. Historians and criminologists debate on the exact origin of the Blue Bloods. And even among ex-members, there remains debate about which side approached which or when the Blue Bloods became a distinct identity. What is agreed upon is that by the mid-21st century, the Blue Bloods were a significant presence in every major trade port around the world, smuggling trade goods across borders and extorting multinational corporations by threatening to withhold or destroy merchandise as they entered the country. Domestically, the Blue... Okay, so they're the fucking shipping mafia.
Mm-hmm.
They control the ports. Okay, makes sense. We're doing season 2 of The Wire now. Domestically, the Blue Bloods seem to have given serious consideration towards legitimizing their activities for a time, acquiring legal charters of business for many of their shipping and security operations during the 2050s. The same time period also saw a cooling of hostilities between the Blue Bloods and many of their rivals, with gang-related violence dropping precipitously. Civil disruptions and suspected changes in leadership during the 60s, however, reversed this trend. While the Blue Bloods remain a major player on the global criminal trafficking market, the status of criminal concern was officially downgraded to moderate by the state during the 2070s. Most criminologists agree that their national presence is now relatively weak and has remained so far for so long enough that the organization's broader global leadership is likely uninterested in expending the resources it would take to change the status quo. Okay, so they're a shipping gang. And okay. So they're having a run-in with the organ dealers, or the mod dealers, which might have meant that maybe a big, notable shipment of mods for some reason got flagged. Maybe there was some friction between the two, right? Maybe the rest seemed like a local thing as opposed to the Blue Bloods, which feel more like an international thing. But, you know, I'm guessing that's where the point of conflict came in. Anyway. I mean, sure, everyone knows the Ikari have taken the lion's share of the city. Just didn't realize they had a monopoly, too.
Hey, get it straight. The Ikaria won't be on top anymore once we... Never mind.
Can we not do business?
No one said that, so what'll it be?
Well, I don't want any of these kids choking on their own foam.
Even if it'd be funny to watch.
I figured just buy a bunch of downers and maybe a handful of uppers. Let half of them get high off the atmosphere.
Downers, huh? We've got the new titration of lime, lasts for hours.
Okay, so she's just coming here getting drugs. Okay, yeah. Yeah, they can stir it into their watered-down beers. Wait, new titration? No one's gonna shit themselves, are they?
No. Not until the morning, at least.
All right, well, I can live with that. What you've got on the other end?
Got plenty, long as they don't mind hippos.
Hypodermics? Feel like these baby shark types will get nervous around needles. Got anything they can inhale?
Well, got a lot of nerve. Fast bump, high plateau, and a smooth ride down. Our best seller.
Sounds great.
Unfortunately, it's in high demand, so...
Nirvana. Metahexphenolil is an illegal stimulant sold in black markets as a recreational drug under the street name Nirvana, sometimes shortened to Nerve, sometimes known as Nirvana, the drug, the band, the movie. When taken as an inhalant, it is a euphoriant with mild hallucinogenic properties. In recent months, its growing popularity has led many to suspect that the drug is being assessed for legalization by the Bureau of Narcotics Oversight. The process of considering a drug for legalization is kept strictly confidential in order to prevent rampant speculation in the pharmaceutical market. However, increases in the sales of the precursor chemicals for making metahexphenolil seem to indicate that producers are anticipating its legalization nonetheless. The relative obscurity of said precursor chemicals has made the uptake particularly noticeable, and supply has not been able to keep up with this elevated demand. Possession, production of, use of, or trafficking in metahexphenolil is a crime. Even when a drug is legalized, previous violations of narcotics law are not granted amnesty. Well, that's stupid. I get that he's selling me drugs, but does he really have to sell me drugs? Hey, it's not my card anyway. Charge it.
Gladly.
Typing away at his tablet like this, he almost looks white collar.
It checks out, right? The cereal's legit, so... Yeah, man, you already said that. It's encrypted, Trey. It's not meant to be a one-tap purchase.
Dark card, the gold standard of untraceable fund transfer among the criminal and financial elite. Your average citizen wouldn't recognize it as anything special. Looks like any other credit or debit card. The only reason I recognized it is because they got flashed all the time back at my apprenticeship. Mostly for drawing lines, but sometimes for purchasing. I see. I see. So sorry. Sometimes I'm just like, oh right, yep, sure. Hard to convert the funds. Here's a question for you: why would you want to do that with like your actual important card? Like, I get that it's a sign of status, but you don't want to whip that out in the wrong place and have the cocaine stank on it, right? Right? Like, you're at best going to use your mid-tier card for that. I don't know. Have more respect for your things, really. Hard to convert the funds back into cash, but if you want to buy or sell on the black market, you couldn't ask for better. So what the hell is going on? I'm dangling some very enticing bait here. An amenable mark spending money that's not her own, they should be salivating over me. Instead, they're practically x-raying me, but why? Interesting decor.
Finally, someone notices. It's nice, right? It's called cherry wood. Redid the paint myself with a finish I had imported.
It's a nice piece of furniture, Creek, but I was referring to your paperweight.
Oh, yeah, that. You like it?
Makes a point, though, about how rare actual wood furniture is going to be, right? Honestly, yeah. Swords, I don't care. Swords are cool.
Fair enough.
Sure. It's a certain rustic simplicity, though it's not exactly gleaming, if you consider giving it a polish.
That'd be a crime.
Oh?
Polishing off the battle scars from a hard-won prize.
Prize, is it not yours?
Something I picked up on the job.
So you're taking off a hero protagonist or something? He used a katana, right?
I do not know.
I haven't read Snow Crash.
Nor have I.
I feel bad admitting that. I was going to read it at one point, and then I started reading it, and 20 pages in, my pages were missing.
That's funny. That's really funny.
So I feel like that's a good excuse for not having read it.
Do you still have a copy with missing pages kicking around our bookshelves?
If I have a copy still, it's probably the one with missing pages.
That's very good. I feel like you've got to make sure that the pages that are missing are like a decent way into it, so that it's like extra annoying.
Oh, we got a new one. A masculine voice, muffled, possibly gagged, and stifled as if pained. Seems like I'm not their only guest tonight.
Really wish you'd left the music on, lady.
I'm sorry, did you say something? I completely spaced out just now. Didn't hear a word you just said.
Okay, that's okay. I didn't say anything.
Guess you aren't so stupid you can't even mind your own business.
Speaking of my business, how are we looking?
The card's still processing.
Sorry about that.
Guess it takes time to snake a wire through enough pinholes that even the almighty state can't track it. Takes power too, apparently. Batteries plummeting. Bah, dark card. Almost more trouble than it's worth.
Definitely didn't do its previous owner any good. Before I palmed it off of his corpse, anyway.
Your boss must be a careful guy delegating you to come down here with this.
Yeah, maybe. Not very smart, though. He has no idea what any of this shit costs.
Ah.
If I treat myself after I finish here, it's not like he'd even ever know the difference.
Good on you ripping off the bastard, a woman after my own heart. There it is. Now I just need 2 thumbs and a password for verification, and we're golden. Is there a problem?
Yeah, is there a problem?
No problem. Sorry, it's just something I heard.
And what's that?
The Blue Bloods have gotten something special in recently.
Can't trust everything you hear out there, or read, or see.
No, of course not. But is it true? A no mask?
Like the man said, you gotta be careful what stories you listen to.
Come on, what could it even cost? A couple thousand?
I wouldn't know. I'm no art appraiser, but I do know that it's rare.
So a rare art thing? A no mask? No, a no mask. Oh, it's probably not like a literal... It's probably like a mod that like anonymizes your face or something. Like a no mask rather than a no mask.
Fun fact, no means talent, but I don't think that translation does it justice. Less than a dozen people on the planet who can make them. What's so special about it? I mean them, if they exist, which they, don't. If you want a mask, you've already got one on your chin, lady. State puts up cameras, we put on masks. State adds layered scans, we wear helmets. High-tech climbs lower, low-tech. High-tech climbs higher, low-tech punches lower. Back and forth up the escalators. But a no mask's got tech that can't be answered. Scissors sharp enough to cut rock.
Anti-facial recognition fractalized active defense. Any camera, scanner, or ad looks at that mask and they'll see a face. Within a face, within a face, within a face until fatal error. Forget hiding from cameras or searching for blind spots. The no mask, you just walk down the busiest street in the city and brick every camera in half a kilometer. Okay, but
That feels sus in and of itself.
right. Wouldn't you want something that just anonymizes you rather than... Because if you brick every camera...
Then they're gonna know, oh shit, we gotta go there where all the cameras
cameras aren't working, right? It's why you can't just black out an area on Google Satellite View. Because then people will be like, oh, that's where all the sus stuff is, right? It's the absence of a thing that's expected to be there is itself a tell.
You know your stuff?
All right, let's get caught up on our terms. No, translated literally as ability, is a world-renowned form of Japanese dance theater with traditions and codified performances dating back to the 14th century. Strictly regulated by the Iamoto system, in which a single heir inherits all authority, mastery, and secret techniques of their predecessor, no strict adherence to tradition and seniority have made it difficult for the practice to spread and flourish during the 21st century. Performers wear archetypal costumes and masks and must convey emotion through precise movement. Their masks are masterfully crafted such that a single static mask can convey sorrow, fury, joy, or terror by merely angling the head differently. And automated dependent. Yes, this one I think is going to be the same.
Yep.
Buyer beware.
But if this mask could do half of what you think it could, anyone who got their hands on it wouldn't part with it easily.
So how much?
More than you can afford, that's for sure.
I don't know about that. I've got pretty nice stock options.
Maybe you do have the money. That's not the issue. I can't sell it. It's already been spoken for.
End of discussion.
Well, sure, you can't sell something that's been spoken for, but things get misplaced all the time. Delivery carriers showing up at the wrong address, missing packages ending up on the backs of storage facilities, merchandise falling off the back of the proverbial truck.
You weren't sent here on some errand? Shit. What is it? Take a long look, boys, because you may never get another chance. We're breathing the same air as a genuine consultant. She's some kind of meg spy?
If I was, I couldn't exactly come out and say now, could I?
Oh, shit.
Is it really this easy?
Yeah, that's real smart talk. Now give me one reason I shouldn't paint your brains on the wall.
Because I still haven't paid for my purchase yet?
Definitely got the nerves of a consultant. They teach you that at some fancy uptown corpo school. Or was it something you were born with?
Something I was born with? Probably. But believe it or not, I'm glad we're having this conversation. Honesty always speeds up the negotiation. So in the spirit of cooperation, why don't you start being honest too?
How's that?
You don't want my money, traceable or otherwise. Only reason you'd ever entertain a customer while in the middle of whatever bottleneck you're keeping behind that door is because I have something rare that you desperately need.
Don't assume desperation or need.
How about want? You want the dark card account itself, not whatever shitcoin currency it holds.
And why's that?
To steal from your bosses.
You don't know what the hell you're talking about. They're the ones stealing from us.
Yes, I'm sure you have very legitimate grounds for wage theft too, but I don't care. Whether it's for running away, skimming off the top, or just as insurance, you want a wallet they don't have eyes on. And since your tall friend hasn't misted me yet, seems like you're willing to barter for it. So,
So,
the card for the mask.
not even close.
The card plus 2/4 is worth of my salary, and that's nearly...
Nah, sister, you don't have the cash for this purchase. And it ain't the kind of thing you can get a loan from the bank for.
I don't like it, but... Not cash then. Might as well try it. What about information instead?
I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it would have to be one hell of a piece of intel.
I could give you heartbreak.
What'd she say?
Funny.
That is funny. Heartbreak, the most famous anarcho-terrorist in the country, at some Meg's beck and call.
Upgraded to a narco-terrorist now? Ugh. Lots of people were laughing very hard having shorted the right stocks before each of his kills.
Hold up, seriously?
No, why did people buy this conspiracy shit so easily?
I don't get the joke. Why would we want heartbreak?
To learn from him, make an example of him? Hire him? You Blue Bloods have been fighting the Rust, the Ikaria, the state, and everyone who wants a piece for decades. And Heartbreak's got more notoriety than all of you combined in only a few months. There's really nothing you'd want to say to him? Nothing you'd want to ask him? If he was sitting right in front of you? The following scene contains loud noises, flashes of light, depictions of violence and gore.
Hell of a bluff, I'll give you that.
Thought it was worth a try. Sorry, just procrastinating having to go back to my superiors empty-handed.
No, it was good. Good effort. I mean, I'm still interested in the dark card. It's just that mask is a death sentence crafted specifically for one very special customer. I'm just the one given the honor of hanging on to it until...
Sounds like you got your own office politics to worry about.
Getting pulled in every direction.
I know the feeling.
Well, that was a bunch of drama for nothing. Is she gonna buy or what, Creek?
I'm still buying, not for some kids' party, obviously. Plan is, I'm gonna spike the competition at this meet and greet, make the customer think they're drooling idiots. Mask was always a long shot, just personally curious.
Curiosity can get you into trouble down here at the bottom of the world.
Don't worry, I like to think I know a thing or two about discretion.
I can see that. Let's wrap this up then. Your password and your thumbs, please.
Sure thing. Let's take off my gloves here. Oh yeah. Make a snap with my right hand if my left extends toward the desk. Viewer discretion is advised. Real quick, before I forget, do you have a bag for all this?
Yeah, actually, got a few in this drawer.
The hell?
All I needed to distract him for a second. Less than one heartbeat. Why'd you pull down the mask just for that moment? I did tell him to mind the safety.
Huh?
The big one made a small noise as he looked down to see that his own gun had blown a fist-sized chunk out of his torso.
Holy shit.
Why did we get character profiles for all these guys if they're just gonna die? He jumped up fast. She jumped up fast? We were gonna rotate Alright. It said Annie. I feel bad that we only he-himmed you.
Yeah.
I feel like that was pigeonholing him. Sorry, Creek. I was expecting to blow his head off. Behind emotion, a shape charging towards me. Spinning left to draw my knife, exhale, lower my shoulders. And there. A loudly broadcast haymaker swinging in from his right. Bad instinct. He must have gotten used to those sparklers making people flinch. I step in and his bicep smacks dully onto my shoulder as I place my knife directly into his cardioid. He's gripping that knife with all the strength he has left. Wait, is he really going to try to pull it out? Someone's been stabbed. What do? When applying first aid to a puncture wound, removing the foreign object is not recommended as this can greatly increase the rate of blood loss. Apply pressure to the wounded. What do? Another bad instinct. Oxygen got off to the brain, already losing vision.
Red.
And dropped with all the grace of a garbage bag hitting the bottom of a dumpster. So that just leaves. Hasn't moved a muscle. Newest member, weakest in the pack. Personally, I wouldn't have given the new guy guard duty, but hindsight's 20/20. Gun's double-barreled. 2 shots. And Miller still has my knife in the literal death grip. I'll have to improvise for this last one. Well, what the hell? Why not?
Oh, shit.
Though come to think of it, how do you use this thing? Aim for the bleachers, I guess.
Oh, fuck.
His Due is the title, by the way, in case you were wondering. Just had to give Morgan a reason to use a katana, huh? All right, well, that was fun. Oh, man. So why do we get profiles where they're just going to fucking die?
Maybe they get better.
All right, maybe. Barely got 3 centimeters into his neck. Must have had a vertebra and stopped dead. Still got the job done after a few whacks, but that was my first time with a sword. I've never been very good at anything the first time. I've always needed lots of practice. Okay, music should have deadened the sound of the gunfire. The gun was heavily modified, so if somehow it still has tags, can't possibly be functioning properly, so I got a window of opportunity. First things first, gloves back on.
Shit.
Wow, someone's lively.
You... Who the hell?
Some kind of mod keeping him alive? A cruelty under his circumstances. I could hear that slug tear his intestines apart. Pain alone should have knocked him out cold, and yet his fingers are limp and his eyes are sharp. Paralyzed.
There are rules. I thought
Blood's pooling fast. You've got 4 minutes.
4 minutes for what?
Everything.
You're no Meg assassin. You're too talkative. Who sent you? Fox? Grey Lady? All that red. Should have... You the Rust's newest rabid dog? Caribou?
It's cute how you all give each other nicknames.
You're civilian?
Where's the mask?
What? Go to hell.
You just looked right at the desk drawer. I thought you said you played poker. Need your keys.
A civilian thief?
Theft is victimless. It's robbery when violence is involved.
So you're just out of your goddamn mind.
I'm the last person you'll ever talk to, Creek. Your choice, but do you really want to be rude?
You seem like you can take it.
The key clicks into the small safe and I pull upon the door to reveal paperwork. Page after page of spreadsheets and diagrams and text all printed in red. This important?
So considerate. No, just throw it anywhere.
Okay.
I was joking.
3 minutes now. Sarcasm will cost you time you don't have. There it is, a gleaming darkness at the back of the safe.
So that's it. You, all this, all of us, for that? Just for that.
I get asked that question a lot. Would you feel better if I had killed you for a different reason? If I had a good reason for blowing a hole in your stomach? Would it have hurt any less? You've still got more than 2 minutes, plenty of time. I could spin up whatever fairy tale you'd like to put you to bed. Bring the mask to my face, and for a brief moment the surface seems to writhe. Is it trying to adjust itself to me?
Suppose it makes sense you wanting a mask so bad. If I was as hideous as you on the inside, I wouldn't want to go barefaced either. Hit a nerve. It must be the worst kind of feeling, being seen. Seen by someone you can't even hurt anymore. Well, I see you, heartbreak. Yeah, big bad, faceless heartbreak. I'm just a dumbass punk, but even I could make you out from...
Don't flatter yourself. It's not that you're particularly perceptive. I just don't have anything to hide when a corpse is talking.
First honest thing you've said. So, what gives, HBK? You're clearly not an idealist. All the terrorism, rebellion theories, out the window. You go around killing 'cause your daddy smacked you around? Your mommy not hug you enough?
My father never laid a hand on me. My mother hugged me, a sufficient amount.
So what the hell's your excuse?
I don't make excuses.
Then what the hell's wrong with you?
Less than a minute now. I could spend that time making up a diagnosis if you'd like. Would you prefer just come over there and squeeze?
How? How many?
Another question straight out of the greatest hits. How can I put this? How many times have you eaten bread?
Never. Got a gluten thing, bitch.
Whatever. Point is, I am not a collector. This is not my hobby. I do not keep count. There is no code. I do what I want as often as I want to.
Do what thou wilt, whole of the law, is that it?
Dunno what you're referencing, but from where you're sitting, do I really look like the law-abiding type? Bring the mask back down to my face, and again its surface seems to shudder.
Forget it. At least I know you deserve what's coming.
I've heard a lot of empty threats in people's last moments, Creek. They're never that memorable.
Told you that mask was a death sentence, that it was spoken for. They called in a huntsman from overseas, home turf. Huntsman can become anyone, go anywhere, kill anything. Supposed to come over and slaughter the rest. That mask was part of his payment. He'll be looking for it.
Wait, but it's Snow White in the Huntsman, not Little Red in the Huntsman. I feel like we're mixing fairy tales here. Possession is 9/10 of the law.
What the hell's that supposed to mean?
Finders keepers, bitch.
Forget it. I don't need to scare you. Huntsman, hunter, too much meaning, lost. Always thought better translation was pelt taker. He'll find you, flay you alive, wear your skin, then go and murder everyone you've ever What a face. Should have taken you up on dipping out early. Anything beat dying, staring at a face like that.
So, pelt taker. Like I'm thinking of like the folkloric skin stealer, like this assassin who can They're claiming this assassin who could take on the appearance of anyone, right? What cyber tech do they use to do that, huh?
I'm wondering if it's like cyberware, like possession, like they can take over bodies.
Like remote control mods in order to do things?
I don't know.
Interesting. So, a huntsman coming to get me? Nah, dead and dying make for strong bluffers. And I've seen more than a few of them try their hand at improv. Time to move. I need to scuff things up a bit more. Make this look like more like an orca shootout then. Well, a visit from me. What about the guy in the closet, though? Get it back. Weapons are inherently disposable. I can kill with anything. So I never bother to retrieve one from a dead man's grip, but might have a need for a knife again shortly. I'll be taking this back, Miller. I had to pry. Is it the dead are always grasping? Sword was not worth the effort. Lesson learned, but I have to remove it for this next part. His eyes. Can't tell the model from the outside, but I can make a strong educated guess at the price range. If they back up any data, that can't be more often than once an hour. It'll be 10 o'clock soon. Gonna need something with some heft to it. Skull. See no evil. God, this game's chef's kiss.
I feel like it's getting more stylish as the episodes roll on.
Yeah, and they're kind of like, because it started stylish, and then as they've kind of gotten comfortable with it, they've kind of, gotten better. Well, the bat's definitely spent, but his eyes are no longer a problem. The sword is fine where it is. Not going to tempt fate and risk nicking myself with it. That's true. I had a friend who put himself in the ER with the sword once. It's all the burning issues addressed. Time to take care of the chores. To remove my gloves to convince them I could use the dark card. To handle all the murder weapons with my bare hands. Obviously, I'll need to wipe my prints off this gun and my knife. But I put my gloves on before opening Creek's safe and cracking Trey's skull. So what does that leave? Focus, no mistakes. The sword. Sword, I gripped the handle with both hands when I brought it down on his neck. Back I dragged the tip across the floor, didn't I? Shit, probably got Miller's blood on it. That's sloppy. Stupid. Why the hell did I? Nope, forget it. Nothing I can do about it anyway. Fingerprints can be wiped. No cleaning agent on Earth that can hide blood from a modern forensics team. Not looking to do an encore performance of my reaction to those goddamn fickle bobbies. The card. Dark card played its role as bait perfectly, even if the reason I'm having to go around wiping off the prints. Never be able to pull funds off it, but I might be able to use it again if... Oh, it's stuck. Creek must have dropped it harder than I realized. Getting shot in the stomach doesn't help with handling delicate electronics. No way I'm going to risk taking the whole reader with me. Could have any number of pings and strings leading back to the manufacturer, or even the Blue Bloods themselves. I'll wipe the dark card off, then set the whole reader back on the desk. For all who knows, Creek's pod mugged it off some slummer, and we're trying to vein to get beer money off of it. Right, the keys I took off him to open the safe. Blue Bloods are going to find out I took the mask eventually, but I see no reason to give him any hints. It's off chance police get here first, rather than not investigate this as a robbery. All that's to say, you can have these back, Creek. I'll close the desk drawer. What else we got?
What about the gun? Do we still have the gun?
This is the remote I used to distract the big guy. Need to wipe my prints off it, of course, but should I turn the music back off? I was playing when I first walked in, best to preserve continuity. Besides, what was it he said? We like it rowed. Screws with bugs. Right about that much. Little smoke screen never hurts. Alright, I'm getting no more prompts from the
Fair enough.
auto find. Can't exactly spend all night on this. Am I good here? Okay, this feels like the scene's been set. Strange sensation erasing your own presence. A sense of supremely private accomplishment, like placing the last piece into a milk-white jigsaw puzzle, then throwing it in the trash. Not unpleasant, but I can't linger here any longer to savor it.
Ugh.
Time to draw this to a close. Thank God for the mask. I can still tell it smells god-awful in here, but it's bearable. Rehydrated sweat and vomit, sense full of adrenaline and sticky heat. Unfiltered, I'd be at higher risk of getting sick, but weren't for all the blood. Right. What to do with you? Blindfolded, gagged, hands bound above him with plastic ties and linen wrappings, beating bloody, and... drugged? Those syringes. They wanted him to stay conscious. Not very popular, were you? Still, you're not dead. These kinds of injuries, you won't die soon. Not without a push. Might be the most charitable thing to do under these circumstances. Must have wished for death at least once during all this torture. Too bad, motherfucker. That bat that barred the door is now in splinters. Anyone walking in after me won't realize that this room was locked from the outside. Captain has somehow gotten his hands on a blade. Be nothing stopping him from stepping out of here and butchering his captors. Blue Bloods want someone to blame for the deaths of their men. And unlike the police, they won't bother arresting an innocent man and putting him up on trial for the world to see. They'll wrap things up for me. Hold that for me. As for the gun... What's with the... All I did was tuck the gun into your waistband, pal. Oh. Okay, I can see how that would be distressing under the circumstances. You can relax about that, it's not loaded. A few minutes from now, you're gonna wish it was. Out again already. Rest up while you can. When you wake up, you'll want to start running. So what's the story? He killed them and then tied himself up again?
I don't know. I mean, maybe she's probably planning to cut him down at least.
I get. Oh, so she put him out, then cut him down, and I guess maybe. Oh man. But we have to cut the episode just as we get to Sarah. Okay, that's fine. All right, everyone. We'll see you next. I hope you're all excited.
I am.
I didn't expect this one to start off with her just fucking murdering a room of folks, but you know, so it goes. What do you think Sarah thinks of this, by the way? Do you think she told Sarah what she was up to?
Absolutely not. Not under any circumstance.
Love it here. All right, y'all. See y'all next time. Bye.
Peace.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.